YouTube, Sequence here with a review of the Kamen Rider Drive TK08 Kamen Rider Drive Type Dead Heat. This was released in February 2015 for about 3,200 yen or so, give or take, depending on where you purchased from. The typical price for the TK series line. Now, up top here, it does show that you can switch between Kamen Rider Drive Type Dead Heat and Kamen Rider Dead Heat Mach with a pretty simple transformation that you got going on here. Pictures of the suits up there on top, figure on the side, and good old guns on the back. Alright, before we get into specifics of the toy, included is a Door-Ju door gun and the Zenrin Shooter weapons. Both of them can be held by whatever rider you want him to be at the time. Absolutely no problem. Outside of the usual, these hands don't really grip anything all that well. So you got that going for you, or going against you, rather. And the fact, these hands just don't really acquaint themselves to triggers all that well. So it doesn't work. I don't like these hands at all. But he can dual wield. Zenrin Shooter, Door-Ju it up. But, yeah, whatever. Weapons are weapons. However, I would like to point out that the door gun is the one from the Drive Arms AC figure. Because it doesn't open like the one that came with Type Technic. So that is that. Here is the figure, and as you can see, here is part of what he does. My house is vibrating because there's a loud truck outside. So the tire here is obviously spinning. You can even tell just by the construction of this figure that it is basically a kit bash, more or less, of these two guys, just kind of fused together. It operates exactly how you would think it does. This shoulder operates just like Kamen Rider Mach's shoulder, while this operates just like Drive Type Speed's sort of split apart gimmick. So nothing too crazy there as I knock the signal off of his joint. But so nothing too crazy there. The basis of this figure is pretty obvious to see how it's constructed. The tire is kind of a two-in-one sort of setup where you have the normal tire right here with the white and the red stripe. And then if you flip it around, you get this sort of burst effect when it went into overdrive, for lack of common term off the top of my head. So that's alright. It was a decent way of doing it. I would have preferred just two tires that you could swap out, because now if you spin it, you can get things like that, and that just looks really off-putting to me. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Other than that, this spins up here as well, obviously, even though it never really spins in the show. And you more or less got the basis of your figure. Articulation-wise, you got all the main points. This is more or less just the same figures we are pretty used to by now, except I keep popping off the signal. Oh well. So rotations right there at the thigh, up there at the bicep, hip swivels, ball joint foot, swivel at the wrist. And if we turn this guy around, you'll kind of see where we're going with this. So like I said, this is a two-in-one figure that can go from Kamen Rider Drive Type Dead Heat to Kamen Rider Dead Heat Mach. And the transformation is very simple. These two are more or less the same suit, just with a few minor differences. Obviously, Mach has a different driver and doesn't have the shift brace. So to remedy that, you simply slide that around and pretend that isn't there. And you have the full white wristband right there. So that is how you remedy that. To get the Mach driver, you simply twist this belt around. And now you have the Mach driver. So that's pretty simple. And then finally, you just take this, flip it forward, and you have Kamen Rider Dead Heat Mach. And the show is just as simple, obviously. I mean, the show doesn't have the problems with the driver sticking out the back of the suit or anything like that, but even the suit in the show is designed to where the back of Drive's helmet has Mach's eyeballs and antenna and everything, just kind of chilling out back there. So it's kind of neat how the designs of the suits in the show are actually correspondent to how the gimmick figures are designed. I dig that. They've been doing that since at least O's. There's always been a little something in the suits that are clearly for the gimmick figure of that series. So pretty neat. Now I like Mach a little bit more than Drive. It looks like a lot more coherent of a suit. And the sort of fusion thing is something that's really neat. I don't really like either of the two designs, though. I don't know what it is about them. I don't know if there's just so much going on, or whether it's Mach's Crimson Chin, or what it is. I'm just not a huge fan of this of either of these forms. But I have a feeling we'll probably see this guy a lot more than the other one, since Drive already has formula as of this recording, and the Mach will have nothing. So there is that. Now, obviously, being a TK figure, you have integration with other things. You can pop off that signal and put on any of the currently released signals on there, as well as all of the tires being compatible as well. At least all the ones that have a clear break through them. Some of them don't work all that well. So you can take off that tire, and since you used this one in the show, you can go ahead and pop Max Flare on there. So you can get something cool like that. Now, I don't know if this would ever actually happen in the show. I mean, Drive did Tire Koukan. Mach has yet to signal Koukan. Nor has Mach or Drive done each other's Koukan. So I don't know quite the limitations of Dead Heat. But you do have that going for you. And, of course, if you wanted to pretend that it's Drive, you just simply flip the shift brace around, flip the driver around, and fold the head back. And now you are back to Drive type Dead Heat. So overall, Dead Heat is not the greatest TK release, but there is quite a bit of fun in it. Being able to get two riders in one figure is kind of the highlight of the set. Unfortunately for me, I'm not a big fan of either of the designs, so that is a little bummer, and I'm not a huge fan of how they divided up the tire like that. I get why they did it, I just don't particularly enjoy it all that much. If you're a big fan of either the two forms, then it might be worth a pickup for you, but this is one of the ones where I would definitely wait for the figure art. Either of the two is bound to be better than this one, so unless you have a good set of the tires and signals to use with this guy, that would make the Tire Koukan set worth it to you. You might want to pick it up, but if you're just looking for a figure design, I would wait for the figure art. So thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.